I think we were very on time with the first strategy, which served us to kickstart the development of the sector and to bring in a number of innovative companies, of different scale and different sizes and different segments and sectors and services. Now we have an updated version, the Fintech guidelines, as we call it. It's, again, a very collaborative process that was, I think, 20 plus contributors actually worked across the government, institutions, and actually private sector and business associations from the sector to develop those guidelines. And they actually chart a path for Lithuania. What's the next stage? So, we were in I would say in the startup stage, if we talk about countries' sector, if we can align those with company stages. Now we want to go a bit into maturity. So it's not just about the speed and, yes, everyone is, welcome to experiment and innovate. We want to help companies grow, to reach maturity that is required in the regulated sector, and to see how we can continue to grow, but it has to be a measured growth that doesn't, break the sector at its seams, and really sort of continue to support the companies that have this vision, but also want to put in the quality that is required in the regulated sector.
Gintare, it's great seeing you again. Thank you so much for taking time to speak to us today.
Thank you for having me, Chris.
It's a pleasure. But for those who haven't met you yet, can you please briefly tell us who you are and what you do?
Sure. So my name is Gintare Baciuliene. I am head of technology sector team at Invest Lithuania. And to introduce Invest Lithuania a little bit, it's a government agency under the Ministry of Economy and Innovation that has the aim to attract and help international companies grow their business operations in Lithuania.
Okay. Now, help me understand, what is the role that Invest Lithuania plays in the fintech ecosystem?
It's a great question. Well, under the technology umbrella, fintech is one of our key focus areas, and we have sort of dual or even multi-approach to growing the fintech ecosystem in Lithuania. So one is, of course, helping companies, but also working a lot with other stakeholders and partners to improve the business environment and work with the regulator, with the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Economy and Innovation to make sure that the fintechs are welcomed and they find a thriving location to grow their businesses here.
We saw an enormous growth of the fintech ecosystem in Lithuania over the past 5 years. What role did Invest Lithuania play in that expansion of the industry?
That's a great question. And Invest Lithuania was really one of the earliest supporters in the growth of the sector. It was initially driven by the Bank of Lithuania, which wanted to increase the competition in the financial sector, to make financial products more accessible to maybe underserved segments of the market, and in general promote innovativeness and competitiveness of the pricing in the financial sector. So it was it was an initial discussion with the Bank of Lithuania, with, of course, Ministry of Finance and Invest Lithuania to forge a strategy going forward. How can we help grow this sector? We had some local fintechs that were starting up at that time, and we're talking about 2015, 16. But we understood that for us as a country to actually gain momentum and break through in the sector, we also needed some international names, international players, ambitious companies. And this is where Invest Lithuania came in with our expertise to actually attract international companies to set up in Lithuania.
Right, and that move worked fabulously because we've seen the result of what has happened over the past 5 years. We've also seen that there's been an update to the strategy that originally created that expansion. What are the priorities that Invest Lithuania is now focusing on in line with that new version of the strategy?
Yeah, so I think timing, as you know, in business is also important. And I think we were very on time with the first strategy, which served us to kickstart the development of the sector and to bring in a number of innovative companies, of different scale and different sizes and different segments and sectors and services. Now we have an updated version, the Fintech guidelines, as we call it. It's, again, a very collaborative process that was, I think, 20 plus contributors actually worked across the government, institutions, and actually private sector and business associations from the sector to develop those guidelines. And they actually chart a path for Lithuania. What's the next stage? So, we were I would say in the startup stage, if we talk about countries sector, if we can align those with company stages. Now we want to go a bit into maturity. So it's not just about the speed. And yes, everyone is welcome to experiment and innovate. We want to help companies grow to reach maturity that is required in the regulated sector and to see how we can continue to grow, but it has to be a measured growth that doesn't, break the sector at its seams and really sort of continue to support the companies that have this vision, but also want to put in the quality that is required in the regulated sector.
Okay, now, along with the growth of the ecosystem, we've also seen the growth of the flagship event, which is the Fintech Day, which will see its third edition in 2024. Now, help me understand from an investment perspective, how do events like this help foster and mature and grow the local ecosystem?
So I think I'll start with a bit of context. And I've been to a lot of international fintech events and talked to a lot of fintech companies. And something that really stands out when we talk about Lithuania is the sector's collaborative and open and very interactive approach when we talk about various institutional organizations and regulator, but also the businesses, business sectors, service providers, and so on. So it's a very open, very dynamic ecosystem. And events like Fintech Day, they actually help foster both sharing of the knowledge, help develop the connections, forge new ones, because it's also about inviting speakers, inviting participants from other countries, and not just sort of talking to each other in our local community, but really making it open and welcome everyone who is interested to understand what's happening in our sector, what are the opportunities, and what are the partnership options as well.
Okay, and we shared a panel last year at the Fintech Day. What are the newest insights that you would share in the Fintech Day in 2024 about what's changed in Lithuania in the past year?
Well, you have to join the panel, and I think the secrets will be revealed. But to give you a sneak peek, I think some things that we sort of see that are gaining momentum or more interesting is, of course, growing RegTech and sort of. It's a broad term, but of course, crypto regulation is coming into place. There's more additional regulatory requirements that are coming from the EU. So I think companies that can help fintechs, regulated fintechs, actually manage all those requirements in a seamless and cost-effective way. They definitely gaining popularity, and this will be, I think, one of the growth areas. How can we streamline the back office and help fintechs grow? And also, I think specifically for Lithuania, we have identified a couple of areas that we want to grow. So we have a lot of payment institutions, electronic money institutions. We have even specialized banks, which is quite unique to the EU. But some of the segments that we still feel are underserved are wealth tech. And again, we have some really nice new names that are coming into this sector. And InsurTech. InsurTech is probably the least developed so far as we see it. It's dominated by incumbents, and we want to change that. So hopefully this will give new ideas for companies that are considering locations where to grow their business.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's really, really fascinating, really interesting to hear the things that are up and coming now in fintech. Now, you were there, I was there. I was able to experience firsthand the vibrancy and the electrifying nature of what's happening in the Lithuanian ecosystem. what would you say to those who were not able to join last year to ensure that they don't miss the third edition of the FinTech Day?
Each year, each time is getting better and better. And when when you talk to people who have attended it, in the first year and the second year, oh my God, it's so great. And then each year it sort of surpasses the last. And this year, again, the ambition is grand. The buzz is amazing. There's a lot of people that are coming from various international locations, very strong interest from international companies. Of course, not to mention the local ecosystem that's very excited about this event and looking forward to taking part in it.
Okay, very good. Now, if I were to ask you what 3 words best describe the Lithuanian fintech ecosystem, what would you say?
I would say co-creation.
Co-creation,
Ambition. And I would say boldness.
Co-creation, ambition, and boldness.
Yes.
Well, definitely 3 words that describe the ecosystem, and it's not to be missed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get a bit more creative now. Let's put our marketing hats on. And if we were to create a slogan that invites fintech companies, investors, or talent to come to Vilnius to see what's happening here and to potentially consider making Lithuania their home for fintech, what would that say?
Well, if you have a bold vision and ambition, come to Lithuania to scale your operations and co-create the great future together.
There we go. I see what you've done there. You've woven those words in perfectly. Yes. Nicely done. I'm impressed. All right, Gintare, just to close, tell us what's your vision for the fintech ecosystem in Lithuania from an Invest Lithuanian perspective? So
I would say that it's not just from Invest Lithuania, but from all of the ecosystem partners and stakeholders, as we have, as I mentioned, close-knit community, and even in the guidelines, in our own strategy, in sort of forward-thinking meetings which we have with the ecosystem, we keep this idea that we want to see Lithuania as the global fintech hub. That's a grand ambition, something that is perhaps a bit more achievable in the shorter term is being and remaining European Union's #1 fintech hub.
Well, there you go. For those of you who didn't know that Lithuania is the #1 European fintech hub.
It is.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, Gintare, I believe you have something to show us that you associate with Lithuania.
Lithuania and fintech.
Okay.
And Invest Lithuania.
All right.
So, yes, I brought a Lithuanian FinTech Landscape Report. It's a shameless plug on Invest Lithuania's actually hard work. Each year we produce a report which is basically a snapshot of the ecosystem.
Yeah.
So we do go and ask the ecosystem. We do have a questionnaire that the fintechs and the technology and service providers fill in. We also look at the stats from various angles, from Bank of Lithuania, from statistics departments. So it's sort of a comprehensive overview of what's been happening in the fintech ecosystem. What are the sort of insights from the industry leaders? And also some data and statistics to basically show in pure numbers, what the sector trends are. And so far, this is actually the 6th edition, and it's been growth year on year across all aspects. So it's really positive and inspiring, for us to not just say, oh, this is something that we have a vision for, but actually the facts show that we have the required elements for the businesses and the fintech sector grow. So yeah, this is evidence.
Fabulous. So for anyone that wants to know what's the ultimate source of insights about what's happening in the ecosystem, this is the report to get their hands on.
So this is the report for the 2022-2023, and again, a bit of a sneak peek that during the FinTech Day, we will reveal the main highlights for the report of this year. So we have just conducted the questionnaire, the research, we have collected the data. We will be ready to present the main findings, and you will be able to subscribe for the report when it's released.
Another great reason not to miss the FinTech Day in February.
Absolutely.
Gintare, how can Invest Lithuania leverage its capabilities to help companies that might be interested in knowing more about the FinTech ecosystem in Lithuania?
Well, we have a team of FinTech sector advisors that can help companies understand and guide through the process of actually understanding the FinTech ecosystem in Lithuania, seeing what the opportunities for them are, what would be the process if they decided to set up, help estimate the costs, help understand the talent situation, connect with required partners in the ecosystem, and plug into all of the events and meetups and connections that are so easy to make when you're here. So really, we can be the one-stop shop, whether it's information gathering or practical support for the companies that are considering Lithuania. And we are a free resource that's fully funded by the government. So I encourage everyone to contact us.
Well, that's wonderful. There's no reason not to then. They have everything they could need.
Exactly.
Gintare, where can we find more information about the things that Invest Lithuania does?
Well, the easiest way is to go to investlithuania.com. And you can read about the success cases of the other companies that have chosen Lithuania, and we successfully helped them. You can also find out contact details and, in general, information about Lithuania's business environment.
Perfect. Investlithuania.com, and that's also presumably where you can download the reports.
Absolutely.
Great. Gintare, it's a pleasure seeing you and talking to you as always. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you so much. Pleasure was all mine. Thank you.
Thank you.